हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू आवर यूट्यूब चैनल। आज का जो टॉपिक है वो हम सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशन डिस्कस करेंगे, जो पार्ट 2 है। तो इसके बाद जो हम डिस्कस करेंगे वो यहाँ पे हम सारी कमिटीज के बारे में बात करेंगे, उनकी क्या क्या रिकमेंडेशन थी सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशंस के ऊपर। लेकिन उससे पहले यूपीएससी प्रिलिम्स रिवीजन कार्निवल ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट हो चुका है 2020 और हमारे यहाँ पे आपको स्पेशल क्लासेस फेस्टिवल भी ऑफर हुई है जो 5 सितंबर से स्टार्ट हो चुके हैं। और हमारे यहाँ पे आपको 400 प्लस फ्री लाइव क्लासेस है, तो अगर जो जो इंटरेस्टेड है वो इसके लिए अभी एनरोल कर सकता है और डेमो ले सकता है क्लासेस के लिए। उसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ पे आपको अनअकैडमी यूपीएससी चैंपियनशिप 2.0 ऑल इंडिया फ्री मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज भी प्रोवाइड कर रही है, जिसमें आपको एक चांस मिलेगा कि आप यूपीएससी के टॉप एजुकेटर्स के साथ, टॉपर्स के साथ, और अनअकैडमी का आपको सब्सक्रिप्शन भी मिलेगा इसमें। तो इसमें आपका सिर्फ सीएससी प्रीलिम्स 2020-2021 पेपर 1 जेएस होगा। अब ये जो होगा वो स्पेसिफिक डेट्स में हमारा एग्जाम होगा, वो 30 अगस्त, 6 सितंबर, 13 सितंबर, 20 सितंबर, 27 सितंबर। तो आपको अभी एनरोल करना है इसके लिए। उसके बाद हम देख सकते हैं हमारे पास जो कंप्लीट प्रिपरेशन के लिए उसके लिए काफ़ी कम टाइम बचा है, ऑलमोस्ट 1 मंथ भी नहीं है। तो अगर हमें ऑलरेडी सब कुछ पढ़ लिया, लेकिन अगर हमें प्रिपरेशन और प्रॉपर गाइडेंस के अंदर करनी है तो हम इसके लिए एनरोल कर सकते हैं। उसके बाद वन सब्सक्रिप्शन के काफ़ी सारे बेनिफिट्स हैं, जैसे हम अपने घर से पढ़ सकते हैं, हमें अनलिमिटेड एक्सेस है काफ़ी सारे रिसोर्सेज के लिए। देन टॉप एजुकेटर्स हैं इंडिया के एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे, हमारे यहाँ पे फुल सिलेबस कवरेज है, डबल डाउट क्लियरिंग सेशन है, और आपको लाइव टेस्ट सीरीज भी प्रोवाइड होंगी। स्टडी मटेरियल पीडीएफ फॉर्मेट में, आंसर राइटिंग सेशंस भी दिए जाएंगे ताकि आप अपने आंसर राइटिंग फोकस करें। उसके बाद ये सब जो होगा वो हमारे प्रॉपर मेंटोरशिप और गाइडेंस के अंदर होगा, जो आपको सारे एजुकेटर्स देंगे। उसके बाद ये एक वन स्टॉप सोल्यूशन है कंप्लीट यूपीएससी सीएससी प्रिपरेशन के लिए। आपके हमारे यहाँ पे आपको स्ट्रक्चर्ड बैचेस विद टॉप एजुकेटर्स, और ये हिंदी, इंग्लिश और बाइलिंगुअल दोनों में है, लेट नाइट एज वेल एज 2 ईयर बैचेस के साथ। फुल 100% कवरेज है सिलेबस की। आपके पास काफ़ी सारे ऑप्शंस हैं। देन आपको प्रीलिम्स, मेन की टेस्ट सीरीज, देन आपको डेली करंट अफेयर्स भी मिलेंगे प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए। और यहाँ पे हमारे यहाँ ऐसे राइटिंग और आंसर राइटिंग की प्रैक्टिस होगी। उसके साथ साथ आपको परफॉर्मेंस एनालिसिस के बारे में बताएंगे, आपकी परफॉर्मेंस कैसे है, और आपको साथ में इंटरव्यू के लिए प्रिपेयर करें। तो हमारे जो प्रिपरेशन बैच कोर्सेज है वो ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट हो चुके हैं 7 सितंबर से, और 3 डिफरेंट बैचेस हैं। आप किसी में भी एनरोल कर सकते हैं, बाइलिंगुअल है, हिंदी एंड प्रॉपर इंग्लिश में है। उसके बाद आपको सिर्फ ये सिंपल कोड लगाना होगा, जो 10% आपको एक्स्ट्रा ऑफ मिलेगा, जो है SIMPLEYT कोड है। तो आपको उसके बाद ये कोड को अप्लाई करना होगा। अगर आपको हमारा यूट्यूब चैनल अच्छा लगा हो तो आप हमें ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं, और आप टेलीग्राम से अनअकैडमी आर्टिकुलेट भी ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, और यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन भी फेसबुक से ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं जो अनअकैडमी में। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद दिस। सो हम अब आज जो हम टॉपिक के बारे में बात करें वो है ट्रेंड्स इन स्टेट एंड सेंटर रिलेशंस। अब इसमें जो हम देखते हैं कि टिल 1976 हम देखते हैं ये काफ़ी स्मूथ रहा है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो है वो है वन पार्टी रूल रहा है और सेंटर ऑफ स्टेट्स में। तो उसके बाद जो वन पार्टी सेंटर स्टेट्स, उसके जो 1967 के जो इलेक्शंस होते हैं उसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि कांग्रेस का ऑलमोस्ट 8 स्टेट्स में डिफीट हो गए थे। तो उनका उससे क्या हो गया था, सेंटर काफ़ी वीक हो गया था, क्योंकि अब उसके बाद सेंटर और स्टेट की प्रॉपर कोऑर्डिनेशन नहीं थी, क्योंकि सेम पार्टी रूल नहीं था। और इसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि यहाँ पे जो पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा चेंज हो गया। यहाँ से एक न्यू सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशंस के बारे में हम जानेंगे। उसके जो नॉन कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट है इन स्टेट्स में, उन्होंने कैसे अपोज करा कांग्रेस की पॉलिसीज को। और यहाँ पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा जो पहले सेंट्रलाइजेशन था और जो इंटरवेंशन रहता था हर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का स्टेट में, तो ये भी हम देखेंगे कैसे उनने अपोज करा था जो नॉन कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट थी। अब उसके बाद इनने इशू भी रेज करा था कि उन्हें स्टेट ऑटोनॉमी चाहिए डिफरेंट स्टेट्स को, क्योंकि इस वजह से काफ़ी ज़्यादा जो थे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो रहे थे और उन्हें फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज भी कम मिल रही थी स्टेट को। So let's come on to the next topic, that's the tension areas in the center and state। इसमें बेसिकली हम देखें कि कहाँ कहाँ सेंटर स्टेट के कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रहे हैं। तो फर्स्ट आता जो है वो है मोड ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट एंड डिसमिसल ऑफ गवर्नर। देन सेकेंड आता है डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी एंड पार्टिसन रोल ऑफ गवर्नर। then imposition of president's rule, deployment of center forces, then discrimination of financial allocations of different states, then role of planning commission in approving various projects under for different states, then there is a management of all India services which actually consists of UPSC, IPS and IFS. Then we have the use of electronic media in different states. Then we have appointment of inquiry committee against the CM and the whole cabinet. Then there is a problem between the sharing of finances between the center and state. Then we have the encroachment by the center on the state list. So these issues have been a major concern in the center and state relations from the mid 1960s, and we can see a lot of development has been taken place. So the first administration committees has been put forward by the central government under the chairmanship of Moraji Desai in 1966 when the party came into the power, and this was followed by K. Hanumanthaya, and it basically terms the references in the cluttered and among others the examination of center state relation. So basically they want to study the various issues of center state, and this committee, administrative reform committee, basically wanted to put the forward the basic problems of all the committees. So they submitted their report within 1 year of their committee that was organized, and it made basically 22 recommendation to for improving the center state relations, and the most important recommendation are as follows. First, the establishment of interstate under the article 263. Then there was appointment of person having the long experience in the public life and administration, and the non-partisan attitude as governance. Then delegation of powers to the maximum extent to the states, then transferring of more financial power to states, and then deployment of central arm in states either on the request or otherwise. So basically after this was the first committee that made recommendation to the center state relations, but as we all know that no actions was taken by the central government after that, after recognizing all these recommendations. Now let's come on to the first official committee that was basically set up in the state. So it was set up in 1969 under the Tamil Nadu government, and in that state, as we know that DMK was in power, so they basically appointed two-member committee under the chairmanship of Dr. P.V. Raja Mannar, and to examine the entire question of the center-state relation and to suggest some of the measures to the constitution in order to secure the utmost autonomy of the states. So the committee submitted a report to the Tamil Nadu government in 1971, and the committee had identified certain reasons for their prevailing unitary trends in the country. They include that the certain provision in the constitution which only conferred to the special power that has been given to the center only. Then there was another problem was the one party rule both at the center and the state. Then there was inadequacy of the fiscal powers and dependency, and all the powers they were dependent on the center for them, and all the financial assistance they didn't have their own financial assistant. Then the institution of central planning and the role of planning commission. So after identifying all these problems, they had given certain recommendation to the constitution for so that they can actually make the states more autonomous in nature. The first recommendation was to establish an interstate council which will always provide and that should be set up immediately. Then that they should also have a finance commission that should be permanent. Then the third, that inadequacy of the state's fiscal resources and the consequent dependence on the center financial assistance. Then the institution, sorry, they also had the planning commission. They also suggested that the planning commission should be disbanded, and it should be taken, and there should be a statutory body that should take place instead of the planning commission. Then we have Articles 356, 357, and 365, which actually deals with the president rule in the certain state during the time of national emergency, or any political emergency that is required, that should be actually omitted by them. And the provision that the state ministry holds office during the pleasure of the governor, also it should also be omitted. Then there are certain subjects of union and the concurrent link that should be actually transferred to the state list, as we know that originally state list had a lot of, but then certain were transferred to the center, and certain subjects were transferred to the concurrent list. Then the residuary powers should be allocated to the states. Then the all India services like IS, IPS, and IFS should be abolished. So basically, central government also completely ignored the second committee recommendation after the first committee's recommendation. Now let's come on to the Anandpur Sahib resolution. So this was basically taking place in 1973. Please note down the date. And it was under the Akali Dal party that adopted a resolution that actually contained the two basic demands, that was a political and religious demands, in a meeting held at Anandpur Sahib in Punjab. So basically, this resolution was also known as Anandpur Sahib resolution because they demanded for centre's jurisdiction should be restricted only to defense, foreign affairs, communication, currencies, and the entire residuary power should be actually given to the states. And it also stated that the constitution should be federal in nature and in the real sense, and it should give equal authority and representation to all the states at the center. So all these recommendation was basically made by Akali Dal party under the Anandpur Sahib resolution. Now let's come on to the West Bengal resolution. So basically, this happened in 1976. The West Bengal government published a memorandum that was on the center-state relation, and this was later sent to the center, and this was submitted under the Communist Party rule that was there in West Bengal. So basically, this suggested that the word first and suggested that the word union should be replaced by the word federal in our constitution. The jurisdiction of the center should be confined only to the defense, foreign affairs, currency, communication, and to economic coordination, and all other subjects should include in the residuary power should be vested in the states. Then the Article 356 and 357 in the last two in basically the Raja Manar committee, even they suggested that the president rule should be abolished and the financial emergency actually should be repealed and removed from our constitution. Then let's come on to the fifth point, that they talk about that the state's consent should be made mandatory for any reorganization of any state, or any formation of any new states. Then the seventh point that they pointed out, that of total revenue raised in the center of all, 75% should be allocated to the states, and Rajya Sabha should have equal powers that Lok Sabha had, and there should be central and state services, and all India services should be abolished. And the central government also did not accept their resolution. Then we come on to Sarkaria Commission. In 1983, the central government basically appointed three-member commission that was under the chairmanship of R.S. Sarkaria, and he was a retired judge of Supreme Court. So the commission was basically asked to review and examine the working of the existing arrangement that has been made between the states and the center, and to basically look into the issues between the two parties that the center and state have, and they need to also recommend various changes and measures for better governance. So initially they were also given 1 year time to complete it, but the date was extended 4 times, and the final report was submitted in October 1987, and the summary was later officially released in January 1988. So the commission did not favor the structural changes and regarded the executive constitutional amendment and principle relating basically to be sound. It emphasizes on the need to change the functional or operational aspect. So it observed that the federalism is more a functional arrangement for a cooperative action than a static institutional cooperation. So it also said that it rejected the demand for curtailing the powers of center and stated that the strong center is basically essential to hold or safeguard the national interest and unity of our country that has been threatened a lot by various bodies. However, it did not equate that strong center with centralization powers. It observed that over centralization could also lead to the blood pressure at the center and anemia at the periphery. So they also suggested that they should not give it extra powers, and even states should be given certain powers so that they can exercise the decision making. Now this commission actually made 247 recommendations to improve the state and center relations. The first one, we have actually taken certain recommendations only and not the full 242nd recommendation, so we're just covering some of the recommendations. The first is the permanent interstate council should be called as the inter-government council that should be set up under the article 263. Then the article 356 should be used very less in extreme cases or as a last resort or a last option for that state. Then the institution of all India civil services should be strengthened more, and some more services should also be created under this. Then the residuary powers of taxation should be continued to remain with the parliament, while the other residuary powers should be replaced by the state list in the concurrent list. When the president withholds his assent to the state bills, the reason should be communicated to the state government also. And the National Development Council (NDC) should be renamed and reconstituted as the National Economic Development Council as NDEC. Now, the zonal councils should also be considered afresh and reactive themselves to promote the spirit of federalism. And the center should also have the powers to deploy its armed forces even without the consent of the states. However, it's desirable that the states should be consulted. The center should consult the state before making any law or changes in the concurrent list. The procedure of consulting the chief minister in the appointment of state governors should be prescribed in the constitution itself. Then the governor's term should be for 5 years in state and should not be disturbed except for some extremely compelling reason. Then no commission of inquiry should be set up against the state ministry unless a demand has been made. Then the governor cannot dismiss the council of ministers. And the present division of function between the finance commission and the planning commission is reasonable and should be continued. Then the commissioner for linguistic minorities should be activated, and the central government have basically implemented only the central government has basically implemented only 180 out of 247 recommendations of this committee. And this was importantly, and we can see one of the most important thing that has been done was the establishment of interstate council in 1990. Now let's come on to this commission. So this commission was basically set up by the government of India in April 2007, and the second official commission set up by center uh, on center relations. Then the chairmanship was Madan Mohan, and basically required to look into the various center-state relation by keeping up the changes that were taking place in our polity and economy after we had recommended the Saharia committee. So they gave some reference to basically how many methods we can incorporate in our federal system. First was basically to facilitate effective implementation of the laws on the list 3 subjects. Then the union should be extremely restrained in asserting the parliamentary supremacy in the matters that has been assigned to the state, and greater flexibility should be given to state in relation to the subject in the state list that can be transferred item in the concurrent as a better key for the center state relation. Then the union should occupy only many subjects in concurrent and overlapping during it actually necessary for achieving the uniformity. Then there should be continuing of auditing role that has been given to the interstate council for management of matters in concurrent and overlapping jurisdiction. Then there's a period of 6 months prescribed in Article 201 the state legislature to act when a bill is written by the president. Then the parliament should make the law on the subject of entry 14 in the list 1 by treaty making and implementing through the parliament legislation. Then the financial obligations and implication should be made on state. Then the question on governor rule should be appointed of the chief minister, and the governor should be given a fixed tenure of 5 years, and removal should not be done at the sweet will of the center of the government in the center. Then we can have the governor should have the right to sanction or persecution of a state minister against the advice of the council of ministers if the cabinet decision appears to the government to be motivated by a biasness. Then we can also talk about the question on invoking the article 356 in the case of failure of constitutional machinery in the states, and suitable amendments are required to incorporate the Supreme Court. That we can take the historical judgment of Supreme Court that was in the S.R. Boumai case versus Union of India in 1994, that landed up in incorporating such guidelines, and this would remove the possible misgiving in the regard of the part of state to help in smoothing functioning. Then we can come on to the suitable amendment should be made in Article 263 that are required in the interstate council. Then the zonal council should have the meeting at least twice a year with an agenda that has been proposed by the state. The new all India services like health, engineering, judiciary should be created. Then a balanced power between states is desirable, that is possible by equality of representation in the Rajya Sabha. Then there should be a scope of devolution of powers to the local bodies for the self-government, and we should have the scope of raising more revenue from the taxes, and the article 268 on the matter should be afresh. And we need to, because of all the close link between the plans and non-plans expenditure, an expert committee should be appointed to look into the issue of distinction between a plan and a non-plan expenditure. So the report of this commission was basically circulated to all the stakeholders in the state governments, union territory administration, union ministers, departments, and what was considered to be the recommendation of the commissions. So the comments that were received by union ministry and department and the state government are being examined and the interstate council secretariat, and will be put forward in the next interstate council for its reconsideration. So this is the end of our topic for the state and central relation. Thank you so much, and do like and subscribe and share our video.